Professor Ford, you talk about praise as just our attempt to cope with God's abundance. That's how you define praise. And my immediate thought goes to just how many things that adolescents have to cope with in daily life, and the ways in which they cope, addiction, and just sometimes very counterproductive ways for coping with the challenges and the difficulties they face in life. And so I guess, and I don't want to instrumentalize praise, but I guess I really want to know, is there a way in which praise can be used to help young people cope with some of the difficulties and challenges they face in life?
My goodness, yes, I certainly hope so. That I mean, the abundance that one's praising God for is fundamentally an abundance of love and compassion and involvement, seen in Jesus, in all that life is about, including the most terrible things, the darkness, the suffering, the death, and facing up to all the worst things in life. And I mean, I think it's no accident that Jesus himself was completely steeped in the Psalms, and that I pray the Psalms every day, and when you go through those, one realizes that the God is deeply involved in the evil, the sin, the death, that he knows all about that too. And really what you're saying to people is that if you praise this God, then you are praising a God who really is in solidarity with you, really is with you all through everything. And that if you practice the presence of God, of this God, then you will find that there are ways through, that the awful things that you experience and that you see other people experiencing are not the last word. And one of the things God has is an abundance of patience as well, and that to learn that not everything in life comes right quickly, but that one does have to endure certain things. That is part of Christian wisdom. And but you endure while recognizing that God is still the God of love, the God of joy, the God who is to be utterly adored.
And so the strength of it is that praise isn't some escape. It's not some, life's really terrible, okay, let's forget that and let's paint it as if it's not really happening. Praise allows us to enter truly what's going on, but we never do that alone. We do that in the presence of a God who can be completely trusted, because this God loves us and calls us to put everything on the line for God and his trustworthiness with us.
And I think the other thing is you see in a community, that some people will be going through really tough times, and other people can be there to comfort them. That not everyone at the same time. That the community bears things. It's not just individuals. So often, I think the problem for young people is they feel so isolated, so much just lonely individuals, and the sense that you're a part of a community that recognizes God and that tries to follow those ways, tries to follow Jesus, is a huge encouragement. That you're, as you say, you're not going through it alone. You really are with others.
Because someone else sometimes might raise their voice for me. That if I'm part of a corporate group who've together committed to praise, then there are times that some people might not be able to find their voice in it. But they're part of this body, and so those people embody the thing that we all have together. They can sing for me if I can't raise my voice at this particular point in my life.
And I think the perspective, once one enters into the fact that those one is praising God with include all those who have gone ahead of us, the whole company of heaven, that one's part of something so big, so extraordinary, a whole ecology of praise and of blessing and of love, that once one's identity is not just an isolated little me, but it's an identity that's part of this huge ecosystem of all creation and God and all those people who are in relationship to God, then that really does change one's horizon on life. And the more one enters into that, one has to learn and relearn it, I think. The more one learns how to cope with the awful things.